Hello, everyone. Good day and happy new month. Trust we're all doing good. 2020 has been an amazing year, but the truth remains that in as much as you're watching this video and you're still alive, God has been faithful, and so we must return all the glory to Him. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about parenting teenagers, teen parenting. And we're going to be focusing on the essential things parents must know to be able to raise their teen kids very well. But before we go into those things that parents must know, we're going to try to define parenting. Okay, I know so many people, you can have your own definition to what parenting is all about or what parenting means. But I'm going to define parenting as simply bringing up a child. Bringing up a teenage child is what we're concentrating on today. Most times when we are raising kids, it's fun. When they are still toddlers, every instruction you dish out, they follow with excitement and all. You keep hearing plenty yeses, yes, mommy, yes, daddy, yes, yes, yes. All right. But the truth remains that once they get to the age of 8, 9, there's a switch that starts to happen. And by the time they become teenagers at 13, as a parent, you begin to notice different changes in their lives. And sometimes some mothers have had to oh my goodness, what's all this? Is this still my child? It looks to you as though that child has become maybe an alien from a different mountain entirely. All right? And you keep wondering, oh my God, what can I do? What is this? What's happening to my child? He or she has become disobedient. He has become this. He has become that. And you keep wondering what's happening to your child. But the truth remains that raising teenagers is actually very interesting. The reason why most of us see only the stress part, as it were, is because there are so many things we've not come to terms with. And that is why we're doing this video today. Because so many parents have become so confused that, instead of sitting down to think of what can we do better, what can we do differently, how can we raise our kids differently, instead of thinking that all they do is just to bring out different parenting skills. Some parents become very authoritative. Some also become very permissive, just take it, do it. Let peace reign, I beg. Let peace reign, I beg. I don't want to have a headache. But still, despite your own skill that you've brought up, have the kids become better? Have they changed? I don't know. It's left for you to answer. But then, let's go to the main area of concentration today. Like I said, we're concentrating on the essential things parents must know that will help them raise their teenage child better. Number one thing is that parents must understand the fact that the kids are wired differently. When I mean they are wired differently, they are completely different. Their brain is still developing. And this is the main point where we don't get to understand. Because our kids are mature bodily, right? They are growing taller. Like the female kids, some of them even at age 10, they've started putting on the footwears of their mothers. Some of them at age 13, they are wearing the same size of dress with their mothers. And we keep seeing these body changes, and it makes us as parents to just draw the conclusion that, they're grown. And we expect them suddenly at 13 to start behaving like a 25 or a 30-year-old adult. No, it's not possible. So the earlier we come to terms with the fact that their brain, the brain of a human being, will continue developing even up till your late 20s. So you can't expect a 13-year-old child to, behave like an adult. All right. I hope that's clear enough. So number 2 thing that parents must understand is you must come to terms with the fact that they are no longer babies. They are no longer those toddlers of yesterday that when you say, sit down, yes, mommy. Come here, yes, mommy. At this stage of their life, you will find out that you will be hearing more of no's than yeses. You're calling your child and you say, come and do this for me. I'll tell you, I'm coming, mommy, I want to do this. They want to have their way, which is not bad. These are natural traits that should be there. But if you understand better that these are things that are common with teenagers, you will know how to handle them. I have a friend that is always complaining. She has a 14-year-old child. My child has become so stiff-necked. My child has become so stubborn. My child, my child, my child. So a particular day I went to the house and I had a conversation with the child. And I realized that the problem is mom always gives the kind of food that the child doesn't like to eat. Now, there are some of them that are picky. So what do you do to change a picky child? You get that child involved in preparation of the meal. Hey, let's cut the carrot together. Let's do this together. Let's do that together. By the time you finish that, you find out that that child will want to eat that meal that he or she was involved in preparing. It's no longer business as usual that you go to the market, you buy a red shoe, you buy a yellow dress for your daughter. Maybe that child has seen his friend or her friend in school put on a blue top, and she desires to put on a blue. Now, how do you solve that problem? Instead of buying dresses and you start feeling that these kids don't want to wear them, they are this and no, you get them involved in the shopping. Okay, kids, let's go. Today's shopping day. You take everyone out. And when you get there, now, there are ways of also having your way as a parent. Maybe you actually prefer the red to the blue, and the child is saying blue, blue. You will be able to find something about that blue to say, no, this blue will not match your trouser, all right? Why don't you go with this? Why don't you? And there on the spot, you will be able to convince that child to go with that one you want. It's not that hard. As simple as ABC. All right. Number 3 thing that parents must be able to do is you should be able to build trust. When your child is telling you this is the way it is, learn to believe it. Because if you're always making that child believe that he or she is lying, then it will be hard for you to ever get the truth out of that child. Then number 4 thing we're going to be talking about today is no snooping, particularly mothers here. This is where our own problem lies. We want to snoop, we want to know everything. And the reason we do that is because we've not come to build confidence. We've not come to build trust with our kids. When you've built that trust, you find out that, snooping will be a thing of the past in your home. You won't even do it anymore. You find out that anything they are doing, even in your absence, when you come back, they will crave to tell you. Like in my home, they will tell you no secret in our home. No matter who you are, whatever you tell my kids, just know that I've finished hearing it already. That's the way we're growing. And it's so interesting. Because I can lie down and do my thing when they're having their conversation. Because whatever that they conversed about, they will still come straight to tell me when I'm free. So let's build confidence. There's no need to snoop, snoop, snoop. Yeah, as a parent, sometimes your instinct can tell you, go and check. Oh, that's different. You go do that. But when it becomes a habit, every second, you are doing that, you won't even have peace. And before you know what's happening, you're making that child to lose confidence in you. And it's very key. So the earlier we understand this as parents, the better for us. Then number 5 is show interest in their hobbies. That's so hard. It was so hard for me, really, I must say. Growing up way back, I didn't like watching TVs because of the way it was then. One television in the entire environment, and by the time you want to watch Channel A, the neighbors' children, even the neighbors themselves, they will all gather. Maybe, unfortunately for you, it's now the time of the football seasons, and they want to watch the football. And you get so frustrated. And with that, I don't even bother because I hated crowd. So when everybody is there, I just go my way. And with that, I grew up not really liking the television. But here we are today. We are in the computer age. The kids love to watch the TV. So I had to get myself involved. I had to start enjoying some of the cartoons. Sometimes you hear me, hey, what cartoon is that? What's happening? I want to know. I want them to understand that, okay, mom enjoys what you're enjoying. Because the truth remains that there are so many channels these days that are not good and healthy for the kids. And if you don't get involved in the one they are watching, you won't even be able to sieve it. You won't even be able to know when to tell them, oh no, don't watch this. This is not so good. This is not so good. Let's not watch this. So that's very key. The number 6 thing we're talking about today is patience. Yeah, sometimes these kids can pull you, they can be so naughty sometimes. But yeah, you must learn patience. One thing we must know is that these kids, they are imitating us, they are watching the way we are living our lives. So if you want to see a patient child, then be patient as a parent. When you are trying to do something, when they do something and you want to find out what happened, just calm yourself down. All right, it goes a long way to help these children to trust you. It's good to shout. Me, I shout, oh, all right? But then we need to be patient with them. They are growing. Their changes kind of are so strange to you as a parent. But the truth remains that the changes are more strange to them. So sometimes you see them, they get carried away because there's a lot going on in their mind. Their brain is trying to rearrange and all that, a lot is happening. And so we must come to terms with that. And when we do, it makes raising them very easy. Okay? Then the next thing we're going to be talking about is we must be ready to open our home to their friends once in a while. Because if you don't, they will find comfort outside. There are some teenage kids that when they come home, they are very quiet. But outside, they are the lions out there. So, and you can't know. Recently, I opened my home to my children's friends and they came around. And I began to see my kids differently from that day. I realized that the particular child that I thought was even the more quiet one is even the noisier one outside, back in school. So let's try to do that. Get involved in the things they're doing. That's the only way you can show them love. Because at that time, as a teenager, they're struggling with so many things. They're struggling with acceptance. They're struggling with understanding who they are. And if you don't accept that, then it's going to be very hard. So I think we're going to be stopping here today. And I want to believe that we've learned something. Raising teenagers is not as difficult as we think. I always tell parents around me, it's not that deep. When you tell yourself, it's not that deep, I want to make a change in my home. That atmosphere that has become so tense, can actually get better. It can become a peaceful atmosphere once again. It can become a wonderful family. It can be a family that others will look up to and want their families to be like yours. If you can only put these few points into consideration in your home, things will get better. Thank you so much for watching. But before you stop, make sure you click on the subscribe button, subscribe to this channel, and also put on the notification button so that when next we come up with videos like this, you'll be able to get them and not miss it. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.